House was supposed to consider a resolution of disapproval yesterday, but was delayed. Your Illinois colleague, Peter Roskam, filed a floor resolution basically saying, hey, the House can't consider this deal under the Corker-Cardin bill because the president hasn't complied with the Corker-Cardin bill. We don't have all the documents. We don't have all the side deals. We don't know all the details, period, about the agreement and what's been negotiated between the U.S. and Iran. Where do we go from here?
Well, look, I mean, the deal's going to happen. I hate to say it. I'm going to vote against it. I'm going to do everything I can to stop it. But the Democrats have ignored the wishes of the American people, very obviously, because two-thirds of the American people oppose this deal. And they've decided instead to rally behind their party's president, you know. And that includes Dick Durbin, by the way. That also includes my neighboring Congresswoman, Cheri Bustos, who's not listening to their constituents and instead supporting this deal that their constituents oppose. Regardless, it looks like it's going to pass. So what happened yesterday is Peter Roskam made the point that we don't know what these secret deals are, and so therefore the president has not complied with the bill. This is a very tough public relations case to make. I'll just be quite honest. I totally agree with Peter Roskam's point of view, but to assume that we're somehow going to get the American people to understand that's going to be tough. But I'm going to vote no matter what comes up, and we're going to have an opportunity to vote up or down on Friday. I'm obviously going to oppose this. I'm going to oppose the Iran deal, and hopefully we have standing to go to court and say that the president has not provided us all the information required. We'll see how successful that is, but I think, you know, Peter Roskam has a great point.
It's just bewildering when you see how, when you look at polling numbers, when you talk to people lining up, everybody seemingly, now it isn't everybody, but a good plurality of people find this deal. The more they learn about it, they hate it even more.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can't, this in effect throws out the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty for the world. If you're any country in the world, I mean, just pull a country out of a hat. If you have the resources, you're going to start enriching uranium because we gave it to our best enemy, our worst enemy. We gave them the right to enrich uranium. South Korea, we've been begging them not to do enrichment because we want a nuclear-free Korean peninsula, despite their neighbors to the north having nukes. Well, guess what? They're not going to listen to us anymore now. How in the world? And I've been in on some of those negotiations. How in the world are we going to tell the South Koreans they can't enrich uranium now? We just gave it to Iran. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so, look, Cheri Bustos, you know, I think could still maybe be turned if people call her office and say, are you kidding me? In terms of Dick Durbin, well, look, I mean, we know that he's a guy that just carries the water for the president. That may be a tougher battle.
Congressman Adam Kinzinger, before we leave the Iran deal, is there any way that you know of, any way in your mind to, as this moves forward, to find a way to preserve the anti-nuclear sanctions against Iran in terms of the economic sanctions, at least the ones that have been crippling the Iranian economy? Is there any way to bar the president from lifting those sanctions? Is there any way to do that?
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem so. I've heard from very smart experts that understand the law, the legal side and everything, and they say the president has the authority under, in essence, you know, Article 1 of the Constitution, Commander-in-Chief, and ability to negotiate. He has the ability to unilaterally do that if he finds it in the national interest. We're going to look for every reason to stop, every way to stop that, though. And so, I'm not the expert on every nuance of the law, so I'm going to listen to the experts. But if we have people that show a way to do it, then we're gonna certainly fight to preserve those. And frankly, the next president, I think it's very difficult. If somebody running for president comes out and says, on day one, I'm going to throw this deal out, I don't know if that's overly truthful. I think the next president needs to come in and say, look, I'm going to look at the best way to unwind this deal and reimpose the sanctions. I think somebody that says that is somebody you ought to look twice at.